Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to TMXing Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan, and this week is Quick Snack Week. Now, hopefully today goes without a hitch. This week has not gone smoothly, as some of you guys know, between technology and getting recipes wrong. It's been a bit chaotic, but Wednesday is a new day and this is going to go amazingly. So, sweet potato pancakes, have you made them? These are from the US, and how do I know they're from the US? Because they're in ounces. Now, the US is the only country on Cookie Doo which is in English, but in a different weight increment. So with the Thermomix, it doesn't really matter though, because we just match the scales up. The only part that is tricky is when it comes to shopping, and I'm going to give you some tips today as to how to know what you need when you're walking the supermarket aisles. So do say hi if you're watching on today, and let's get started. Now, the first ingredient in this recipe as I go start cooking is actually some canned sweet potato. I don't know what that even is. Obviously it's something that they have in the US. So what have I done instead? I've actually pre-steamed in my Thermomix some sweet potato. I didn't bother peeling it. I went for kind of the easiest option. It is not much, as you can see. And I've steamed that in there for about 10 minutes with a little bit of water underneath it. So it does say that it needs to be drained. So you know what, good old simmering basket, that's drained. We're just going to tip out the excess water, which I'll just walk over to the sink and do. And then we need to actually blitz this down. So the first thing it asks for is the 4 ounces into the Thermomix. By the way, do you like the black Thermomix? It's very sparkly. Hello Trace, lovely to have you on this afternoon. Thanks for saying hi. All right, next up it asks us to put our lid on, and it asks us then to blitz this for 6 seconds on speed 4. So off it goes. You can hear it going up slowly because it's hot, and that's okay. You can hear it's done. It's actually a safety feature of the TM5 and 6 that it actually overrides your speed. Ordinarily, if I'm making bliss balls and I spin it to speed 10, it just revs straight up to speed 10. The magnets inside fire up and it goes right up to 10. But when it's hot, and these are red, I do like the red on the black, but when they're red, that's when you know that the bowl is over, is nice and hot. And you see here it says 150. It's actually saying 150 Fahrenheit, which is actually about 70 in Celsius. All right, doesn't matter though, because on the Thermomix we just match it up. All right, so that's our bowl temp, and I've just mashed this up in there. I'll just show you what that looks like. It's just mashed. So there that is. Now we go next, and it actually tells us to transfer aside. I have the benefit of a spare bowl, so I'm just going to put that aside and then come back to that later, and I'm going to put on my spare bowl instead so that I don't actually need to dirty a bowl. I can just put the second bowl on. Next, okay, first things first is some butter. I do have butter down here somewhere. It says 1 ounce. Now I told you I'd give you tips about supermarket shopping when it comes to ounces. With your supermarket shopping, it's really easy to just remember, multiply by 3 and add a 0. Or get out Google and help you. Okay, you can put 1 ounce equals how many grams, and it'll tell you about 30 grams. So, but on the Thermomix, you can see that it has actually just brought up the scales for us there, and we can then just drop our butter in, and we can see how much that is. That's pretty close, 0.9 of an ounce. So we're not putting much into this. It doesn't have much butter. Whoops, I'm going to leave it on 0.9. Close enough's good enough. And then we'll go next. Insert the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid, and you'll see that because I've got a new bowl in there, you can see that temperature has dropped down. The lights have gone green. So speed 1, 2 minutes, 160. It's melting this now, ready for our next lot of ingredients. Now, I have made this before, and ordinarily I would use coconut cream in this recipe. I've done it with coconut oil as well, and it does work. I am all out of coconut oil and coconut milk and cream. So today I'm using just normal full cream milk, but it does work perfectly fine using another milk substitute. You could use oat milk, almond milk, and normally I would have made my own coconut cream. I love the Thermo Fun recipe, but I just haven't had 2 seconds today to do so. So we are just going to use good old-fashioned full cream milk. You'll also, in this recipe, I'm going to use my low-carb monk fruit sweetener today. You could just use your raw sugar. It does call for brown sugar, but again, you guys know I never really bother, unless I'm making something decadent like caramel, which is very rare. I don't bother having brown sugar in the house. So the other thing I'm doing a swap with today is it calls for a cake flour. I'll just be using my gluten-free plain. So they're the couple today as well. The other ingredients is vinegar, which and something else. Just vanilla is going to come up. Now I have made some new vanilla paste recently. It's been in the fridge. If you've never tried making your own vanilla paste, give it a go. It makes a 1.5 jar worth. So you'll get, this is the yogurt jars from the mix shop, and you'll get a second one as well, a kind of a 1/2 to 3/4 fill from your vanilla paste recipe on Cookie Do. So that's your vanilla. Love homemade vanilla. It's just beautiful. All right, 20 seconds to go. It's melted enough. Can't be bothered waiting any longer. Next, okay, 8 ounces of whole milk. As I said though, whatever you would use normally. So 8 ounces, multiply by 3, add a 0, we're looking at 240 grams. If my maths is serving me well this afternoon. So those watching on, what's for dinner at your place tonight? What's on the menu? Do you know yet? Hello Anne, lovely to have you on. So there's that. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Now 1 tablespoon, for the record, is approximately 20 grams. So we can just bring up our scales mid-recipe up the top. You can do that on a TM5 down the bottom as well. Okay, you've got your scale button there, so do that if you need to. TM31, you can't do that. You'll have to actually, oh no, you can. You guys can bring up your scales because you don't have guided recipes. Now what I don't know is I actually don't know how much it is in ounces. Have to go backwards. It must be about 3/4 of an ounce. So about 0.7. My maths is not fantastic. Let's not trust that. Know that it's 20 grams or a Jamie Oliver, swirl in there. All right, next up, insert the measuring cup, and then we're going 5 seconds speed 2. It's just combining all those wet ingredients before we add the dry. The other thing in this recipe is some nutmeg as well. Forgot to mention that before. It's probably everything you've got in your house. I do love these though because this recipe, obviously with the sweet potato, it's going to give it a really nice fluffiness, but also lifts the nutritional content as well. So I am not going to rest it because I'm not very good at patience. I'm going to go straight on and I'm going to add my sweet potato, which is actually still hot as well. So, why not change it? What this recipe doesn't have in, surprisingly, is actually some eggs. So those of you who are familiar with pancakes and pikelets would know they typically feature eggs. Actually, I lie, it does have an egg. I really should not, I should write down a script, shouldn't I? I didn't get it out though. I'm gonna have to ask a child in a minute who's gonna hopefully run through a door in a second to get me the eggs out. There it is, the egg that I haven't got out yet. And I can't even see one in my kitchen. Normally we have an abundance of eggs. So anyway, I will come back and hopefully add the egg later. So there is the egg that I didn't think we had in this recipe. Here we go, here's a child. Hey Toby, can you get me 1 egg please? Thank you. Here we go, the egg is coming. 1 ounce of brown sugar, so that is 30 grams. Here we go. And as I said, I'm using the monk fruit. I'm gonna cut that a little down because you guys know I do that. A little bit less sugar, the better. By the way, the kids devoured the Impossible Pie today, so that is well and truly gone. Thank you, buddy. So that was actually received well. It was a bit dry day 2 without that milk in it. So I do apologise to Leanne's grandma's recipe that I forgot to completely edit that and put the milk in incidentally. So, okay, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I am excited though. Somebody has shared with me today the recipe for the savoury version. So I'm excited to give that a go because we are savoury here more than we are sweet. So I'm looking forward to trying that as well. Okay, cake flour, 5.5 ounces. Now that is a little bit, it's probably one of the bigger measurements in the recipe. So 15, added 150 plus a little bit more. So just my gluten-free flours, in they go. And now I'm not going to show you how to cook these today, okay? I'm not going to go out to the barbecue and show you that. Although I am overdue from showing you our yard progress. There's been lots of exciting things going on in our yard. So I will, before the end of this week, show you our progress out there. But I'm not going to show you how to cook these on a barbecue today. I'll be calling the hubby to do that job because I'm no good at making them nice and round. But I will take a photo of the end product and I'll show you if they're as pretty as the picture leads us to believe, because that picture is pretty light and fluffy of these beautiful pancake looking things. So I'm excited to show you that. That's baking powder, those of you who are cooking along later, and this is bicarb, 1/2 teaspoon of bicarb. So in this goes By the way, we do have a few stock left of the black. We haven't yet got notice to say it's just about gone, but we must be getting fairly low. So if you are wanting to get yourself a black, get in ASAP to get your black Thermomix before they're all gone. All right, I do like my black. Gotta say, it's prettier than I anticipated. I think you guys know that anyway. I think I've told you that. Pinch of nutmeg, so that was salt. Little pinch of nutmeg, and we're actually done. So this is the beauty of baking, I guess you could say, in your Thermomix, is it's so clean. If I look around my bench right now, I've got a spatula, I've got a knife and a teaspoon for the dishwasher, and I've got ingredients to put in my cupboard. There's no measuring cups, no beaters, no, you know, whole lot of range of spatulas. It's so simple, and this is what I actually love the most. We don't bake hugely often, although this week it looks like we do, I know. We don't actually bake a huge amount, but when we do, I'm really appreciative of the fact that we don't have a massive amount of things to wash. It's just all in there and it does it for us. All right, let's finish this off. So spin it up, it's on speed 4 for 10 seconds. And it's amazing what you can do in 10 seconds, you know, as far as putting things away in your pantry, putting away the eggshell, those sorts of things. Scrape down the sides with the spatula. So push that down, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. You can see in there, look at that. And I'm just going to scrape off the little chunks in the middle on the little knob, and then, okay, last bit, I reckon they're going to ask us to put the lid on and blitz it again. Let's just check. Yep, insert the measuring cup, and just going to grab those last little bits in the center. All right, there you go. So that is done. You cook it on the barbecue or a fry pan, a skillet it says, flip them over and then serve them. And it says serve warm with bacon, can't read, with butter, maple syrup and pecans, which sounds yummy. Ours usually don't get decorated because they're eaten as fast as they're taken off the barbecue. But there you go, there is a new recipe to add to your repertoire. Let me know if I can support you with anything regarding your Thermomix. If you've got questions when a recipe goes pear-shaped, a bit like mine yesterday, reach out, because chances are I've done it before as well. But if I can help you, you know, convert a recipe, you know, it might have been grandma's favorite sponge cake, let me know. If I can help you just gain confidence out, tap into the daily live videos to get more out and do more out of your Thermomix, and do share it with your friends and families as well who have a Thermomix, or maybe they're thinking, what is a Thermomix? So I'm always happy to jump online and do personalized demonstrations as well to show you what a Thermomix is and how it can help you save time and money in your kitchen. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me this afternoon because the kids are waiting for food as usual. Can't wait to come back tomorrow afternoon and do some more cooking for you. So take care in the meantime, and I will see you back here tomorrow. And do say hi and replays in the chat and things like that, and let me know what you're having for dinner. So have a fantastic one. Take care and talk soon. Bye, guys.